Ahoy hoy YouTube modeling community, this is the Lazy Eyed Modeler. I'm here to do my video on how I got into model building. To start off with, I have to say that I was always a car person from the minute I could grasp the concept. I think I was always interested in cars. I had a lot of toy cars of various types, starting of course with sort of wooden and plastic ones, and then graduating to Tonka toys and Dinkies and Matchbox, etc. I always knew cars to see them. My first words, or some of my first words, were Daddy's Guck, Daddy's Guck, because the McDonald's Hardware had a 49 GMC pickup, and this is not it. I just borrowed some pictures from the internet to illustrate as I talk. Anyway, I knew his truck, or the Hardware's truck. When he'd pull in the driveway, I'd be at the window just all excited with Daddy's Guck. I also used to travel around with my grandfather in his little Volkswagen Beetle, and one of the funniest things I can remember is a young fellow was going out to their cottage, and him yelling at the construction workers that were paving the road to get out of his way because he was trying to take his grandson to the cottage. I also remember my aunt having a few cars, one of which is she had a yellow Acadian Pontiac, well, just Acadian like this, similar to this, and I always thought the turn signals were neat on them. They actually looked like turn signals on the dash. And I also knew my dad's 65 Pontiac Parisian later in time. My mother tells the story of me seeing my aunt's Acadian on the roadway, and when we were out for a walk, and I said, "That's Aunt Rita's car," and she said, "No, that can't be. That's just a car." And when we got home, she phoned my aunt and said, "Were you at such and such a place?" And my aunt said, "Yes. How did you know?" And she said, "Well, that little stinker knew that was your car." So that's kind of been my reputation in the family. Anyway, yes, like I said, I started with Tonka toys, like the big one you see in the background. That's the only one I have left. I sold them off a few years ago. I also had Matchbox toys and Dinky toys. My favorites were the Dinky toys. Right now I just have a few left, pretty much the ones you see here. I sold them off a few years ago. Just can't have everything, and if you ever see my stash, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, in the end, I liked the Matchbox and later Hot Wheels, but I generally enjoyed the Dinky toys more because we had this wall at home, which was the wall that formed our driveway. We had a raised driveway, as you'll see in a moment, and it was perfect for driving up and down the wall. The driveway itself made a great little roadway, and I made all sorts of stories up in my head and on the side that you don't get to see here. Like if you look to your right, there would be the sidewalk and the hill, and I dig into the hill, and it was great for all sorts of stories and whatnot. And hey, Chris, you recognize that bike? And it made for a great, when you push the snow off there, it was a great to make snow forts too. Here's a modern view of the wall. We haven't lived there in 35 years, but that's what it looks like today. The town a few years ago changed the location of the sidewalk. It used to be much closer to the driveway, and it tied in much better with my storytelling with my Dinky toys. Anyway, as I got older, here I am in a couple school pictures. One is from the 100th anniversary of Canada, so that's 50 years old. I got into model building. My dad got me into model building, and it happened here at the hardware store. It used to be McDonald's Hardware. If you saw my video on the life of, or the My Little Town video, you know about the hardware store already. I do not remember what my first model was. I know my dad was in the planes. I don't know if it was a plane model or a car model. I really don't remember. I do remember getting models to learn how to build stuff, also to help pass the time at either at my grandmother or the McDonald's cottage, which was on Georgian Bay, which you see here. And if I couldn't be out swimming or rowing the boat like you see here, on a rainy day I could be building models. And all I could also build models at my other grandparents' cottage, which was located at an area called Salog Bay, about half an hour away from where I live. It's a road access as opposed to water access like the other cottage, and we just had to walk down to the sandy beach. As I got older, my dad got the idea that I should do like what he enjoyed doing, and that was building Gwillos, the wooden and paper airplanes, where you had to take the pattern and cut the wood to match the pattern and whatnot. Basically, you were building your own plane. I guess he thought that was a lot cooler. Unfortunately, that idea didn't exactly fly with me. I couldn't get the things cut. They were too short. They were too long. It did not work. And so that project was never completed because I totally botched it up. And that was the one and only time I tried building a Gwillos type plane. And these pictures were taken from the internet. Of course, I did get models for Christmas and birthdays and whatnot, and this is a birthday party. I'm not sure what age, 11 maybe, 12. You can see on the left-hand side, right near the edge, that's a monogram Porsche model that I received that year. And I don't remember what happened to that one. I was surprised when I found this picture and saw I actually had that kit, but anyway, one fond memory I have was one Christmas Eve. I got this kit. This picture is taken from the internet, although I do have the box here somewhere. One Christmas Eve, I sat up during the night. I'd been given this because it was just sitting on the shelf at the store not selling, and I sat up till I don't know what time in the morning building this kit. Of course, no paint or anything. It was all just built in white, and then years later, or sometime later, I decided to hand brush paint it after it was built. That might work for the military guys, but it really didn't work for the Mustang. I still have it somewhere, but I forgot about it and didn't dig it out for upcoming pictures. The other one I remember, and part of why I call this the Woody Workshop, is one of my favorite kits as a kid was this Mod Squad station wagon. I loved the Mod Squad. I loved the old Woody in it. I was sorry when they wrecked it and burned it. But I remember sitting watching the TV, and I tried to do my best to get the wood trim right and whatnot. And you'll see that coming up in a few minutes shortly. Well, this is me around 17 years old. That's about as long as my hair ever got, and dig those mutton chops, eh? This jacket you see me wearing is not a sport team jacket. It's just a school jacket. I bought it to help support the school in general. I sucked at sports. I hate sports. I hated sports. With bad eyesight and flat feet, I couldn't catch a ball. I got beaten in the head often enough. I sucked at skating. I spent all my time holding on to the boards. I couldn't seem to adapt anyhow to any type of sport, so I never got into sports whatsoever. When I was younger than this, 10, 12, when other kids were out playing sports, I was still playing with the dinkies along the wall at home, along the driveway wall. Um, Later, I kind of kept building models and whatnot, although not as actively at this age as you see here. But I never stopped. I never got rid of them. I destroyed a few when I was, say, 10, 12, not with fireworks like many of you said, but with just playing Wreck-'em Derby with them on the friend's kitchen table. Quite a few got smashed. And but I never really got away from it. So we're going to cut it here, and I'm going to do a part 2, and it's how I got in modeling the later years, we'll call it. Okay, we'll see you shortly, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.